if you're looking for a new piece of camo or a whole new system, we're going through our systems right now. We're going to get you some up-close looks at some of the features of the things that we wear. Let's get started.
Perfect. So we always wear hats. If you can see right there, that's Circa camo right there on my hat. A good hunting hat is the way to be. You just have to have it. In the tree, I don't really worry about camo that much, but on the ground, I usually wear a camo hat.
You had to have it.
Yeah. This is the Yuma by First Lite. It's their newest base layer. It's got some bug protection stuff in there that's supposed to really help with ticks. I haven't worn it in ticky country yet, but I like this a whole lot. It's actually probably the coolest and most comfortable of the base layers that First Lite has, and I'm all about hooded quarter zips. This is called a QZ, and I just feel like if you need to dump heat or show off your chest hair, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of hooded QZ stuff, no matter what the piece is. You got something else?
Big fan.
Like that?
Yeah, this is another lightweight piece that you use in the heat. It's called the Trace. These are Trace pants, okay? There's some side zips that have a big vent, but also not just like straight up access to your thigh there. That dump heat, and then also these crotch zips right here as well that dump a lot of heat, really. So
this is the stuff that we wear on a regular basis when we're deer hunting, and you'll notice that we excluded the Trace shirt. Tyler, what do you think about the Trace shirt?
It can be this. So this material dries really quickly, actually. And the one thing about it is it's not super stretchy. So the pants fit pretty well, but sometimes for a guy who might not just be like a mountain runner type, your shoulders start to get pretty tight in those things.
We're not a big fan of the Trace shirt, and I think that's okay to say. I for sure would choose the Yuma over that, but the Trace pant is, I mean, a very, very good hot weather pant.
Quiet buttons as well. Can't hear them. They got a little rubberized thing on the inside of the button.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, I like them. So this is a good early season pant to use. The quiet buttons make sense because a lot of times in early season right at dark, there's no wind, no noise. Crickets even might be quiet just because they get freaked out.
That's the Spectre camo there, which is the whitetail specific pattern. Works good for a lot of stuff, though. Really across the country, except for in yellowgrass, Spectre works good. Again, here with the hood, this is the third option for base layers. This is a wick. This is a wick hoodie long sleeve in Spectre. It's merino wool, doesn't stink hardly at all, and it's actually super thin around the armpit area as well. And I will say that First Lite has the merino dialed. You've owned the merino for a long time, right?
Yep, 2016. So 8 years now I've had a merino from First Lite, and I have worn a merino from First Lite, a base layer, for 8 days and really not noticed any stench. Merino is an amazing product that, you know, just somehow it absorbs the stench and does not let it out. It traps it somehow. You know, one thing I do appreciate about the First Lite hooded stuff, like this wick or like the Yuma, is the hood is big. So like for me, I have a big head, and a lot of hoods are pretty tight on me, and I just like that there's a lot of room here. It's never hard to put on, even over a hat, and also just gives you shade around the sides of your face and that kind of thing.
It works really good with the billet hat, like you're saying, like it kind of comes out here and kind of shades the side of your head.
Which can help you see too. This is the wick short sleeve, basically all the features that he just said without a hood. I like to wear this early season a lot, as long as the bugs aren't bad, and you know, the weather permits. As far as like actual the base layer stuff, I would say like the coolest stuff would be Yuma and Trace. This would be the next level. It's a little bit warmer because it is wool, but I'll wear this in early season all the time just to keep away the smell.
So, do you have any more early season stuff laying around over there, or is it kind of mid?
It starts to get pretty mid season.
Yeah.
At
so
this
that's
point.
kind of the roll. When it's hot, that's the stuff we'll wear. Of course, there's always going to be like my strategy for layering and just staying warm is always having one piece more than you think you're going to need while you're out there. And that can get kind of heavy, so you got to kind of watch that out for that, especially in the late season. But, you know, I'll do all of what we just showed you and then probably have one mid layer that I'll put on over, or maybe it's something that's an outer so that it's waterproof or something if that need be. But one thing I'll start adding whenever it gets colder, and I think Tyler and I are a little different on this, I'll wear a pair of long johns or long handles or whatever you want to call them. This is a merino again from First Lite. Is this called a kiln? It is a kiln. So this is their midweight merino base layer, and this is about the only one I wear. I don't even go any heavier than this, and I only wear this really if it's like 40 and below, maybe 45 if it's windy or something. It depends on what I put on over it. But again, it doesn't stink at all. I really like that about it. And then along with that, here's a kiln mid layer. Now, I will say that I like having this. It's a very comfortable weight to wear. It's not super heavy. You don't get super hot in it, but it is warmer than that wick. The wick is almost more about just having concealment and the benefits of merino. It doesn't give you any insulation, which is what you want. This is kind of that middle ground, maybe even what you might call a true early season, not like a velvet season or something like that, top layer, where you're going to get a little warmth out of it, but it's not super crazy. Maybe it's thick enough to keep the mosquitoes from biting through you. Maybe not. I don't know. It depends on how much you have it stretched. But it's a comfortable piece to wear, and it still has the merino benefits, and it'll keep you a little bit warm. And then my actual favorite of the base layers is this guy right here. This is a furnace quarter zip. It's a merino piece. All right, you can see I've even labeled this KC because I don't want nobody else touching this one. All right.
Why do you have to label them?
Because
there's a lot of guys running around in our crew with the same pieces.
Got a lot of raccoons around here that like to just grab stuff. You know what I mean?
They don't know that Papa Coon is
that's right.
the owner.
Papa Coon gets you. But it's not that. Like, I don't mind people borrowing things, but you don't want to end up in a situation where you don't have what you need. So this is one of those pieces that I absolutely will have any time I think the temperatures are going to get even cool, because there's just so many things I love about it. It's heavy. It keeps you very cool. It still does the merino thing where it doesn't stink. It has a pocket on the front for all your pockety things. I always keep grunt calls in this pocket in particular because I lose my grunt calls, so it's always good to have them in a spot that you usually keep them. But what I actually like about this is that it's a solid color. And y'all are going to think I'm crazy, all right? Because I probably am. But I like to hunt on the ground in a solid color. Especially, I'm going to give you a safety caveat here, whenever you're on a property that you know no one else is on, right? Because you could look like a deer in this, but that's the point I'm about to make. This is kind of sneaky, okay? In South Dakota, both me and Michael were hunting in there together. He was filming me, and we had on solids like this. This was last year, and on Halloween Day, and the deer were starting to get rutted up. And I truly believe that I wouldn't have got a shot at the buck that I did had I not been confused, at least a little bit in his mind, for a deer. Okay, so yes, camo is good. No, I'm not promoting you dressing up like a deer in the woods. What I'm trying to say is I like this color a lot. I like these solids.
And a deer has a natural camo that makes it hard to see.
That's exactly right.
So if that's the color of a deer, then you're probably pretty hard to see.
If you haven't seen that video, I highly encourage you to. You can see how much we run around on the ground in that hunt. I mean, we covered like 2.5 miles that afternoon, chasing deer around pretty much all day, kind of shadowing and closing the distance. And I actually killed another deer in the exact same outfit last December. That video is not out yet. It'll be on the Meat Eater channel this fall. A pretty monumental hunt that Tyler and Michael and myself are all on. So maybe this piece just has a little sentimental value to me as well. But I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's pretty durable too. I mean, you look at this thing for merino, it doesn't have hardly any runs or nothing in it. Like the elbows aren't messed up, you know. So it's pretty tough for what you may call a base layer.
This is a new pant that has been released, but we've run it for at least the last year or so. This is called the 308 pant. You can see it on First Lite's website.
And that's the whitetail specific version.
Yep.
I don't remember how they're different, but they are.
I don't either, but I do know obviously Spectre is the pattern.
Something with the pockets or something.
Whitetail can't see very well. Anyway, it's got a heat dump here. So, and it's got pockets as well in the front. And I think that they put no pockets, no cargo. And I don't know if that's the difference or not. But I do have this in a solid, what First Light calls walnut. It's like a gray. I really like that color a lot, actually. And also you can wear a 308 pant in walnut to, Ducks Unlimited Banquet or, the rodeo or whatever and not stick out at all. But the 308 is a fit. So
I got some walnut right here.
Yeah.
This is Yuma, but just so y'all know what the walnut looks like, it's slick.
Yeah, it is.
And by the way, for turkey or duck or whatever, the walnut usually comes with a brown First Light logo instead of the orange.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, the 308 is a fit. It's a certain type of fit. So if you like the 308, if you like the way that this fits you when you get it in, all 308s of any sort should fit very similarly. Again, it's got the heat dumps on the sides and on the front. Comes with its own little belt, which I actually like a lot because they're quiet.
Is that just whitetail specific?
I don't know.
I don't think my solid 308s have a belt.
Maybe not. But the belts that First Light makes, I like them a lot. They cinch pretty well. It took them a second from our prototypes that we originally had to figure out. But I mean, you can close that pretty quietly, right? And there's no metal, right? Like somebody else's, might make a normal belt for you or whatever to clink around or anything like that. So I like the 308. It's fairly durable. Got a little bit of stretch in it.
What temps are you good in that 308?
I mean, I wear this early season sometimes, but a lot of times, if I'm in trace early season because it's in the 80s or 90s, 7 like room temp and under, these pants tend to do pretty well just as they are uninsulated. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I will wear this, and like I said, Casey and I agree on a lot of this stuff, but I don't wear the long johns. That's not something I wear. And maybe if I walk 200 yards to a deer stand, I would. But I just can't stand the thought of not really being able to get, not able to dump heat quickly. And so when I have the long johns on, I mean, you got to take your shoes off and everything to get them off. So just when I'm walking and stuff, it causes me to sweat a lot. So I don't normally wear those. So I'll wear these in a lot of conditions. They are like fairly heavy duty, and so I mean, I've hunted in just these down into probably mid 30s pretty comfortably. So 35 to 70, I feel pretty comfortable in these. Then again, maybe my legs just don't bother me from a cold perspective as much as other people.
That probably has a lot to do with how long you're going to sit and wind, and there's all kinds of factors that matter on that too, right? But I mean, I think that's pretty good range. I probably wouldn't, if it was going to be like frosty in the 30s, I might would put something underneath. But I think you're better.
But I always carry something to go over them.
Yeah.
If it's starting to get into 30s or whatever,
You got something over there that?
Yeah, probably.
What is that? Would that go over something?
No. So I don't even have those. I probably didn't even pull those out, but I have a pant that has a full zip, and it's like, I guess it's a down. Maybe I think it's a synthetic down, but anyway, it's like a down pant. It's real kind of baggy and loose. I got them in an XL because they fit over the top. But something like this would be for when it's really cold to go over. It's a bib, and this is the thermic.
Yeah, it looks like thermic.
Yeah, thermic bib. I like this would be for when it's really cold, or if you were hunting like 30s or whatever, you might want a core or 20s. The core bib might be enough for you.
This is their like Arctic blast.
Yeah,
version.
This is cold stuff.
If we would put this on right now and go outside, we would die because it's 100 degrees outside. So you can see it's got a real heavy Berber on the inside and a lot of insulation.
And
it actually has a belt.
Tighten that thing.
Tighten it around your waist. That's
probably
cool.
Sealing some of
so
the heat.
So you don't look like a abominable snowman. You got a little form to your figure,
So one thing that First Light's always thinking about how to make these things better and all the little features and stuff. The clips here for the bib. That way you know which one goes which way, right? If they were both this, you might get them crossed when they come over the top of your back here. So you know that one goes in one and one goes in the other. So makes stuff like that is just, it's little things like that make sense to me, and I like. Mm-hmm. You have this like fleece right here that's around your essentially a muff right here on your chest, and then your let's see. Got front pockets here, same thing, fleece lined. I think that's more of a comfort thing. They put those on there so that you're not touching something cold. Also, it's very quiet when you go in. If you got gloves on, these are full zip.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Fleece on the inside. I like the full zip thing because it just makes getting in these a lot easier
So
when
you
you
don't
got
have
big
to
boots
actually
on.
put them on over your boots. You just
Yep.
put the bib on and then zip it up.
Yep.
That's
So,
pretty slick.
Lots of cool features. And if you buy something like this, I mean, it's going to last you a long time. Because for one, this is not something you walk around a lot in, right? And for another, it doesn't always get Arctic blast cold. So you only hunting these a few times a year, and when you do, they keep you still, which is pretty highly important. And on a cold, clear day when it's not a whole lot of wind or something, you being still is probably pretty important to making the most of your time while you're out there in late season.
So I jumped us ahead on that. Sorry
Yep,
about that.
that's all right.
It's a good thing to cover. Back to like the mid-layer type stuff. One of the better ones that First Light has come out with in recent memory. I guess there's kind of two right here. One's a little heavier, one's a little lighter. But this is the I said the wrong thing. The Origin, excuse me, the Origin hoodie. I'll turn it around where y'all can see it. And this is in the tiger pattern. What's it called?
Typha.
Typha is the scientific genus for cattail. That's why it's called that. It's not just made up. I thought that was kind of cool. Built-in face mask in the hood, which is pretty handy both for bugs and for concealment, especially like turkey hunting, and on the ground for whitetails. Still a really deep zipper here to dump heat or to just make you look cool. Zipper chest pocket, of course, to keep your grunt call in there. It's also ventilated right there so you can dump some heat from that spot. And this is
Can't wait
like
to put my
a
initials in this
micro fleece. Don't you do it. You have one of these, don't you?
Not a Typha one. Looks
Well,
slick.
thanks, man.
I like it.
It's a micro fleece, which means it's a little warm. It's not crazy warm, but I will give you one thought about the Origin hoodie. Oh, it also has a kangaroo pocket that zips, so you can store all your cool stuff in there as well. And that is mesh on the backside too, so you can dump some heat out of there. One thing about the Origin hoodie, though, okay? I personally never like to walk into the woods packing something that's not a full zip. And so that's one of the things to keep in mind about the Origin is I don't want to be in a tree, at least, or even on the ground, having to do the spider monkey to get up inside of a piece, right? And that's what hoodies are. Things with a hood are different than hoodies, right? A hoodie is like a one piece that doesn't zip all the way off. So I do wear this, but it's always going to be in a day whenever I can walk around in this and be comfortable. I don't want to wear this on a day whenever it's kind of too hot for it and I have to take it on and off if I want to. But I really like it because of the comfort. It's a very snuggly piece.
It
feels
snuggly.
nice when you put it on. It makes you feel like you're hunting.
Yeah.
There's a matching thing to that.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to go to
don't
this
do that.
first because we're talking about lower body warmth stuff. This is the 308, but it's lined. It's fleece lined, so you can see that right there. It's got the same type of kind of micro fleece that KC said the Origin had, and I killed the biggest deer I killed last year in these pants.
Me too,
right here.
man.
So I like them a lot. This is the dry earth color, which just same thing like as the walnut. I mean, if you wear this to the football game on Friday night, for those of you that actually like things that are cool like that, these are going to look great, and they're also going to look really great when you're out there hunting and be functional. I like these because they got a little bit of stretch. They're a little bit different material on the outside than the normal 308 is. And I don't know, I can't speak all the speak or whatever, but I do know that they're a little bit stretchier. We've got heat dumps again right here, and the front cargo pocket there that you see. And so there's
does it have a double pocket? Does it have like a dump pocket and then a zippered pocket inside of it?
Yep, it's got a zipper pocket right there on the inside. So, if you want to dump some heat on the front, then you've got access to the crotchal area there, and it's going to be you're going to be able to dump a lot of heat out of there as the heat rises up through that
and
pocket.
that works really good when you're walking too. So like when
Yep.
you're sitting around and static, it's it's hard to dump heat. You'll gain a little bit, but as you walk, it'll pump air through there. I mean,
Yep.
it's very effective.
Yep. There's the button for those who are watching on YouTube. Anyway, I really like this pant. Like if it's if it's in the mid 50s and down, and I've got these handy, and I remembered that I brought these, then I'm probably wearing these over the normal 308s, depending on how far I have to walk. If we're hunting, 3/4 of a mile in public, I'm probably not wearing these, to be honest. I'll find something to layer over the top when I get there. But if we're hunting, if I walk 400, 500 yards maybe, then I probably will wear these on the way in. It's just a matter of, and that's a hard thing for a lot of guys that don't hunt a lot. If you only get to go hunting for deer a few times a year, it's kind of hard to remember, like, how much did I sweat last time I went into that deer stand, 11 months ago or whatever. So I get that, but you'll start to figure out your systems as you go, and, you can sell stuff off that you don't like and buy new stuff.
Yeah. So I don't want to be repetitive about this, but the pieces we're showing you, we're not going through like a First Light catalog. We're showing you from what we've worn at First Light, what is the stuff we really like. And so when I say this is one of my favorite pieces ever from First Light, I mean it. This is the Source jacket, and I think that you probably agree with that as well.
I love the Source, yeah.
It is. It's just hard to beat for an all-around. If you want to sample what it's like to wear First Light, the Source jacket is just uncomparable. It's soft. It's super quiet. It's like made for archery deer hunting. It's awesome for that. The cuffs on the sleeves aren't too tight or too big. You have plenty of room to layer underneath it if you'd like to. This is a large. I'm 5'11", 200 to 230 depending on the day. This fits me in all of those scenarios, which is nice. It actually is cut really good. It isn't form-fitting, but it isn't like, one of those poofy Cowboys jackets that you saw kids wearing in elementary school. It's like in the middle of that. And
not too long either.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good fitting piece. It has this, it doesn't have a hood, but it has a higher collar on it. So if it is chilly, you can zip that all the way up and cover your neck. It has a harness pass-through for those of y'all who are still hunting in regular tree stands and harnesses, which I'm probably going to do this year.
Let's go.
In part thanks to you. You got us some tree stands. They're pretty nice.
I'm an influencer.
But yeah, as far as warmth goes, I've seen Tyler wear this when it's 80 degrees outside, and I've seen you wear it when it's 40 degrees outside. And a lot of that's about layering. You like a jacket, so
yeah, I like this piece a lot too. So hoods are polarizing, right? Everybody has their preference on a hood. I don't. I take the hoods off almost everything that I get. If I need some head warmth, I'm probably going to wear some kind of a beanie or something. I don't like them stacking up on my neck and kind of pushing my head forward. So I like this. It was designed as a mid piece, so that's why they didn't put a hood on it. It also has these little, thumb links right here so that you can put your thumb in there and put it under a big jacket for when it gets, colder. This is also designed as a puffy jacket, but they made an outer that's way quieter. Way quieter.
It's a synthetic puffy, so you don't have to worry about making something downproof, which we learned a little bit about that a few days ago from a friend of ours at First Light. But they were able to you lose some benefit in weight when you do synthetic, right? Down is the lightest thing known to man when it comes to insulation.
The ratio of warmth to weight and down is just,
it's crazy good. But this synthetic, this thing isn't super heavy. It also super packable, but it's very warm. I mean, if it's not that windy, I'm down to 40 degrees. I'm probably good with this thing.
Yeah, and the outer is also a lot more durable than normal puffy jackets are. So you catch this on a briar, you're not going to have a big hole in it like you would on a puffy jacket. I really like that piece too. KC mentioned earlier I had a corresponding piece, and I bypassed that and went to a different piece I had in mind. But this is the corresponding piece right here. This is the Origin pant. I will say this. I love this pant. I don't think I've ever worn it hunting. I wear it around camp nonstop. This is my deal. When I get back in the evening, I get to camp, I take my clothes off so they don't get all smelly too bad, and I wear these. You can see they would probably make a pretty good wader pant. They've got these, I guess,
Well,
heel cuffs or
they
whatever.
made them that way so that they go good in like the lacrosse boots and stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
And they would go under your 308s or something too if you wanted to do it that way. But there's not a whole lot that I can say from a hunting application standpoint here. It's got a little belt with a hook on it that's quiet and works. This one is one of the prototypes that had elastic in it. I don't think they have the elastic in them like they used to. But this is it just fits. It's built a lot like a jogger. So if you know what a jogger is, the only reason I know what a jogger is because my wife and my son, who's way more trendy than I am. But essentially, fairly skinny down towards the ankles. And so you look real dumpy in them, but that's what the kids are wearing these days. And when I'm at camp, I don't really care how dumpy I look. So
it works, man.
Origin pant, it's
Our
super
buddy,
soft.
JP wears those to hunting a lot.
Yep.
And says they're pretty warm. I don't wear them that much, but I'm kind of like you. I like to wear them, but I might should. I got those last year, kind of mid-season, and it just wasn't really like in my kit. But I might try them a little bit this year. So I'm kind of to outer pieces. Is that where you are?
Yeah,
what do you got?
I got a mid layer left. You want me to
show that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the Brooks down, and I believe this is mine, right?
No, Tyler. See, here's the deal. We've had mixed reviews.
His stuff's just cooler than mine.
Within our group of the Circa pattern, and we're kind of coming around to it. I thought it was really light, but in certain applications it works really well.
I think it's getting darker.
It might be.
It
could be. I got this hat in the mail a couple days ago, and Tyler tried to claim it, and we had to go look and see on the sheet
it's
who
way
ordered
cooler
what.
than the hat I got.
But same for that is I ordered that for hunting a specific region because some parts of Texas are really deserty. But we're not really talking about the camo as much as we are the piece.
This is what you would think of as a more traditional puffy. So it's got the sound. You know what I mean? Here's for the podcast people. It's got the
and it's
sound
not
a
like
little bit.
crazy loud, but it is not near as quiet as that Source was.
It's got a hood, a big hood, which I like. It's got great warmth to weight ratio. I mean, this thing is super light. Also packs down super tiny, right?
If you need a spare pillow, that isn't even big enough to do it.
Yeah. And so I since probably 2017 maybe, I don't know, I've hunted with a puffy, like a standard down puffy jacket of some sort almost always, because the packability when we're hunting way far back in, it's just so nice to be able to throw this in your backpack and it not take up a whole lot of room. And then when you get there, you put on a piece that actually changes your body temperature instead of just
So
like,
fast.
I'm still freezing, or whatever. It's like, you put on a down jacket and you know it. I mean, so it's a pretty basic piece. It's a puffy jacket, not a whole lot of flash to it. It's got does it fold up into that? Is that what it's designed to do?
I think so. I don't ever do that. Bless you. You're allergic to down. I guess you better give me my jacket back. I think it will potentially tuck into that pocket. That's kind of what it looks like it's for. A lot of them do that. But again, a full zip piece that I'm a big fan of. So the Brooks Down, honestly, is one of the more versatile things in the First Light lineup because you can get this in solids, which we had first. We had like the Coyote or the Desert Earth, whatever it's called.
And I mean, everybody from Mark Kenyon to Steve Ranella and Ryan Callahan and Giannis and all of them, like that's a piece that they've worn over years and years now, a lot of them, and they would say is one of their favorite pieces overall.
This is a newer piece from First Light, and I have a hard time remembering it. I think it's the straight line jacket. I don't really care what it's called too much because I like it and I wear it. And the only reason I need to know what it's called is so that I can suggest it to other people, which I ran into that problem this past year. But it's actually a waterfowl piece. And this is a waterfowl camo that's on it. It's a cash camo. But it's essentially a heavy-duty soft shell. And I love it. It's not the quietest, as you can tell, because sound in the waterfowl world isn't as big of a deal. But it's like a rugged, heavy-duty, not lofted, I think is the word, jacket. Lofted is when it's puffy, right?
Yeah.
And so this isn't lofted. It kind of fits like a sleek, nice, almost like a blazer. Like if you think about like in a tuxedo world or whatever. It has the elbow pads to keep that from wearing out. It's got the high collar, kind of like the Source does, and it's got, I wouldn't call it a heavy Berber, but definitely a Berber fleece on the inside as well. It's got zippered pockets on the front, and it's got a double chest pocket, one on each side, which I like. I like some pockets to be able to put stuff in. And I like this thing because I hunt out of the boat a lot, and it makes an excellent boat jacket. It's water resistant and
Waterproof.
Is it waterproof?
It's got a windproof and waterproof membrane.
I didn't know it was waterproof. That's nice.
Yep.
So, yeah, never gotten wet in it, of course.
It's a great boat jacket.
Yeah, for sure. And so it's just a heavy-duty, rugged piece of gear, and I like it a whole lot. Are you supposed to hunt whitetails out of it? Not really. Do I? Absolutely, all the time. And another thing that's nice about it is it's got kind of like that exterior, that Brooks on the inside of the sleeve. So if you're layering underneath it, what you're putting in here, even if it's kind of fuzzy, goes in real nice and smooth. Like you're not dealing with like a, I don't know, like a cotton or whatever merino on merino type thing where you have friction.
Or even like a fleece, like if you were putting the phase jacket on underneath it, I mean, it would really stick to.
Yeah, for sure. Where is the phase jacket?
I
Do you have one of
know.
those around here?
I don't think I do. No, I don't.
We might should have shown that.
It's your favorite piece, man.
The face?
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm sad that you didn't get your favorite piece in there.
It must be in the bed of my truck. Must be pretty durable if it can stay back there. But yeah, that's the straight line.
Well, this is my final piece here for this episode, and this is what I hunted in quite a bit last year. Anytime it was cold. This is called the Core. It's a new piece. You might have seen some of the hype around it in the last few weeks. But it's essentially this outer, I think, is the same as the Source outer. So in other words, it's that quieter and more durable face of a puffy, right? So synthetic puffy, just like the Source, but with more insulation. It's a much warmer jacket, and then a micro fleece on the inside for just soft and quietness, right? And a little extra added warmth. Isn't this like you put like hot hands in here?
Yeah, I messaged the folks at First Light to figure out what that was for. And so that's what it is.
You put like hot hands in the back of this jacket, and so that lower part of your back that usually gets cooled off real quick, and there's not a whole lot of blood flow around it, you get to warm that up.
I have a lot of hair down there. It keeps it warm.
Do you?
I haven't never used it.
That's good to know, man. I'm so glad I got to picture that in my mind. This is your pass-through for those who are still tree stand hunting. And then it's got a zip and a button right here as well. So you take that button and unzip and take the hood off, which is what I did with mine. This is KC's. He's still got the hood on it. Do you hunt in the hood with this normally? Or is this...
If I know that it's going to be my outer, I hunt in the hood. So I think ideally what I'm doing is I'm wearing like a wick or a kiln as my base, and then the Source is my mid, and then this is the outer.
And here's another feature that I really like. This is part of what they call the kit link system. It's a magnetized pass-through. So if you've got a Source jacket or Origin hoodie or anything underneath, whatever, all the pieces that are designed as outer layers have a kit link system so that you can dig, without going into your pocket. So there's your pocket. If you see that, that's your actual pocket. It's closed. You can put stuff in it. You can zip it, whatever. This magnetized kit link goes into, and then you can't understand how much warmer it is to stick. I mean, you
That's
probably
what I
can,
use it
but
for.
you stick your hands in there, and I don't ever have to wear gloves, which I don't like shooting my bow in gloves, so I never wear them. Instead, I just use this kit link. The magnets kind of snap around your wrist a little bit right there. It's not crazy or anything, but like it helps with heat loss right there, and then it's also really quiet. I mean, you can make it very quiet, right? Or you can snap them together. It's still not that loud. But anyway, and it's got the fleece on the outside of the pocket as well.
That helps on your knuckles, man. Whenever it's super cold, that zipper like on your hand hurts.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, I love that a lot about this jacket. In fact, if I was to say that you needed one piece that could get you through the rut, and maybe, some of the better deer hunting weather overall, this Core jacket is probably the one I would choose because it's going to get you anywhere from, the late October cold front all the way through the end of the year if you layer underneath it correctly. So
yeah, it's a legit piece for sure. Now, I know I said this was about our favorites. This jacket actually doesn't fall into that category for me, but it's probably because I don't have a lot of opportunity to use it like some of our more northern friends would. The guys that put a little extra H in their oils, if you know what I mean. This is the thermic.
And they're Tyler's too.
Yeah, and they're Tyler's too. This matches, it matches that bib that Tyler showed us a while ago. This is the sample piece that we got last year, but it's got a big hood that's super warm on it. You can see it's got the button thing that Tyler just showed us a while ago. Mine's unbuttoned because I did have the hood off of this at one point in time. This hood is so big that I feel like it's intrusive as a archery hunter. Now, it's cut out to where you can see pretty good, but it's so thick I couldn't hear anything with this thing on. And it's nice to be able to take it off for that. And then maybe if you're in gun season and hearing isn't as important to you, then you can put it back on and rock and roll with the hood. But nothing crazy. Still has the pass-through right here for your harness. Has the kit link, just like what Tyler said. And it's not the same material as the core, right? As this is a windproof layer on the or not on the outside, but this is a windproof jacket. Has the kit link here again that I think is super handy. But if I could boil it down, it's essentially the heavier version of the core with a different outer and stuff.
If you've ever had a Solitude, it feels a little more on the exterior feels more like the Solitude did in that line. And also, what's the other soft shell? The Catalyst,
yeah.
That kind of feeling on the outside.
Yeah, it's kind of a soft shell thing. Yeah. So very much a good late season or gun season, depending on where you're at in the country, type jacket. It's got these cuffs down here for tightening up your wrists. I will say that for me, the sleeves were a little tight on this jacket. So like a lot of big uppers, you might want to size up on anyways because it's going to be an outer layering piece. I have the large, and right now I can put my arm in there okay, but if I have on a jacket or something, it might be a little bit tight. So just make sure that you're ordering the appropriate size on that. That would be my tip on that. So those are some of our favorite pieces from First Light. To see them in action, check that video out right there.